So, hello. Today we are going to be talking about the repeating numbers like 11, 11, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 7, 7, 7, and so on. And I am just going to give you my opinion if I think that this is something which is real and there is some kind of angel or something which is communicating with you, or whether this is just a coincidence and nothing more. Or whether this is something which is real, but it's not coming from an angel, but it's coming from some kind of negative entity or something like that. So I do not know. This is just my opinion, and reality may be completely different. But I have some experiences with seeing repeating numbers. I have some experiences with meditation and things like that. So I just want to share my perspective and yeah. So for me, the question whether these repeating numbers are something which is real and there is some kind of angel or something which is communicating with you, guiding you, and helping you, or whether this is just a coincidence and nothing more. This question for me is like the same question as asking if the universe is just a material, random, and nothing more, or whether the universe is spiritual, conscious, and so on. Because if universe is just material, random, there are just atoms, electrons, protons, and nothing more, in that case, there is like no angels, there is no soul, there is no incarnations, and in that case, these repeating numbers or synchronicities in general are probably just coincidences and nothing more. But if the universe is not random, if the universe is spiritual, if the universe is conscious or in some way intelligent, then there are probably angels, there are probably souls, incarnations, and so on. And in that case, I think that it makes complete sense that there are angels, and these angels are in some way communicating with you, and so on. So in that case, I would say that these repeating numbers are real. For now, I am not able to tell you whether the universe is, spiritual or not, because I do not know. But for me, it's like, I would say that maybe there is like 70% of the chance that the universe is not random, that the universe is spiritual. So yeah. But this is just my current way of looking at the things. So yeah. So I would say that these repeating numbers and these synchronicities are probably real, because I think that universe is probably spiritual, but I do not know this for 100%. So yeah. Now, even if these repeating numbers are like real and there is something which is communicating with you, I do not think that it is real every time that you see 11, 11, or every time that you see 3, 3, 3, and so on. So I think that, as I said, this may be very, very real, but sometimes it's probably just a coincidence. Later on, I will share with you my experience of, seeing these repeating numbers too often and so on. So I think that if you see these repeating numbers, it's fine to, sometimes make some kind of decision based on that. For example, if you have some kind of life situation and you are like asking universe for some help, and then universe is going to give you some repeating numbers, maybe it can be like sign that you should do something and you shouldn't do the other thing, and so on. But you shouldn't. I do not want you to say what should you do, but I think that we shouldn't put too much energy and too much attention to these repeating numbers, and we should be like, we should make decisions based on our, heart, based on our intuition, based on our mind and based on our logic and so on. So it's okay if you sometimes, make decisions based on these repeating numbers, but not all the time. I will share with you something which I do not share with anyone because I am kind of ashamed of this, but yeah. But I have two numbers, and one number for me is like a good sign, and the other number is a bad sign. And this is something that I would really like to get rid of, but it is something which is so deep in me that I cannot that easily. There are these superstitious or things like that, that when you see a black cat, it's going to be something bad is going to happen and so on. And you may think that this is just, bullshit or something like that. But anyway, it can be hard to get something like this out of your mind. And I have exactly the same thing with the repeating numbers, something that I have developed. And I am trying to ignore that, but yeah. So I will just share with you, maybe 5, maybe 6 years ago, I was starting to see like repeating numbers, and I read a random article. Sometimes you can read 1,000 articles and you are not going to remember them, and sometimes you can read one thing and it is going to stick with you to the rest of your life. But yeah. But I was reading an article about seeing number 32 and 33, and it was like if you see these two numbers, it means that you are in some way growing spiritually, and 32 it's like a bad sign, or that you are not awakened yet, and 33 it's like a good sign, and so on. And until this day, it like sticked with me that when I see number 32, I take it as a bad sign, and when I see number 33, I take it as a good sign. This is something that I would really love to get rid of, because it's like I am trying to ignore that, but sometimes it's like affecting my life. Because, for example, I may be like recording video like this, and then I'm going to finish recording and I'm going to take a look at my phone, and it's going to be like 14:32, and I'm be like, okay, I made something bad, or So there is a way that we can develop something like this, and I don't think that this is something which is healthy, which is helpful, and so on. But at the same time, I think that these repeating numbers, they are not just coincidences, they are not just bullshit, but it's like fine to have this in some kind of balanced way. So yeah. I will share with you one thing where I was seeing these repeating numbers very often, and where I was thinking that this is beyond the coincidence, and there is some kind of angel or something that is like guiding me, and so on. One more time, I will have to share with you something which I am kind of ashamed, but not anymore, because I have put it so much energy and so on. but yeah. But basically, I had and I still have a driving anxiety. Like, usually men, they don't have driving anxiety, or they don't admit it. But yeah, it is something that I had, and to this day I still have. And I am driving a lot, but it's something that doesn't want to go away. Like, I have anxieties, like general anxieties, but this is like a special type of anxiety. Like, you have Einstein and general relativity and special relativity. I have general anxieties, and driving is my like special anxiety. And what I would do is I would be like driving around my city or driving around in some places, just to, practice my driving, just to go out of the comfort zone and so on. And this is something that I would be doing like a few years ago. But right now, what I do is I go to drive to the place which makes me like most anxiety. Like, there are some places, maybe in the downtown, in your city, or somewhere where it's very hard to turn left, or, some crossroads that may stress you a little bit. And there are these places that you are like intentionally avoiding. And what I would be doing is that I would intentionally go driving for hours to these places until I would be like completely exhausted out of like anxiety, fear, and so on. But I would feel really great that I am improving my driving skills, that I am going out of my comfort zone and really pushing my fears and so on. And what would happen to me during the days that I would be doing like so is that I would be seeing repeating numbers all the time. Like, you have cars and they have like these numbers. I do not know how to call this in English, but you can imagine. And in my city or in my country, we have like numbers on cars from 0 to 1000. So you can have like 225 or something like that, whatever. And I would see number 333 so many times that it's just beyond the coincidence. 333 or 111, but 333 is something which is like the strongest for me. So what I would be doing is I would be driving for maybe 2 or 3 hours around these places, and I do not look all the time at the numbers of the cars, because I need to be like focused on the road or focused on driving and so on. So during these 2 or 3 hours, I would see maybe 100, maybe 200, maybe 300 of these numbers. And it happened to me many times that I would see 333 maybe 4, maybe 5 times. And the thing is that, mathematics, the chance of seeing 333 when you have numbers from 1 to 999, there is like 1 in 1,000 that you are going to see 333. And if I am going to look at maybe 300 of them, and I am going to see 333 4 or 5 times, when I am going out of my comfort zone, when I am pushing myself and so on, for me it was something that was beyond the coincidence. So yeah. And for me it's like one thing is just driving in the places that you know very well, or some highway or something like that. That's fine. But for me there are these special places which makes me in some way anxious, and yeah. So that's one example where I was seeing these repeating numbers very often. But also there is one thing that happened to me, that I was seeing these repeating numbers very often, and I was thinking that something is guiding me to the good place, and it guided me to a bad place. So I kind of liked one girl who was my neighbor, but I was unable to speak with her because I met her only when she was in a car and so on. And I really wanted to speak with her and so on, but I didn't have like a chance. And I had so many synchronicities with this girl, like, dreams, lucid dreams, and repeating numbers and so on, that I was really believing that universe or something wants me to be with this girl and so on. So one example is I would be driving my car and I would be thinking about this girl, and there were like 3 cars that was going in opposite direction than me, and the first car had number 222, and I was like, okay, like there is many of them. The second had 777, and I was like, okay, 2 in a row, there is something which doesn't happen that often. And the third one was 333. And I was like, seeing 3 cars like so in a row for me was like, what the hell? Like, what is what is the chance that in the moment then I was thinking about this girl, there was like 3 cars like so. But my point is that I I was really thinking that something is guiding me towards this girl. So yeah. One day, I asked her out, and she told me that she has a boyfriend and so on. So yeah, and she actually did. But yeah, and that wouldn't be the problem. The problem was that later on I found out that she's a really bad person, and yeah. So I felt really disappointed, not because of the girl, like I was disappointed also because of that, but I was really disappointed because of the universe, because I was thinking that there is something which is guiding me, there is something which is helping me, and I was like trying to be better human, I was trying to help and so on, I was taking care of my grandparents and so on, and I was thinking that, there is some kind of angel or something which is guiding me and so on, and I felt like betrayed and so on. So I was thinking that if these repeating numbers are just the coincidences, which I think that, as I said, sometimes they are, but I not really, but I would say that the universe is spiritual, so I think that this is something which is real, and I was like, is this true that this is real, but it's not coming from a good place, like from an angel, but it's coming from something negative? Maybe it may be like so, but also with this girl, I was thinking that, okay, I can see it as something negative, but I cannot see the bigger picture. I cannot see where this is going to lead me. And it was this girl, and like when she said me that no, it was something for me where when I realized that I need to work on myself way more and so on. So at the end of the day, maybe it was something positive. Like they say that everything bad is for something good. Maybe not everything, but some bad things, maybe actually good things, and so on. So it can be kind of hard for me to say, but I also had this kind of experience that I was thinking that it is leading me to some good place, and it didn't. At least it seemed like it didn't. But yeah, a few more examples that I want to share with you. One is this happened to me during one day, so it was kind of interesting for me that I am learning to code like web design and so on. So you have this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so on. That's not the point. But one day I was learning and I was working on my projects, and I was working on something which for a long time I didn't know how to do, and I was able to solve that. And when I finish coding for that day and so on, I took a look on my phone, and you have the number of the steps that you made during the day, and I had 3,333 steps during the day. And I was like, okay, this looks really interesting. And I felt good because I felt like, okay, for me, this is like a sign that, like coding and so on, it's something that I should do and so on. 5 minutes later, I went to my car that, okay, after the coding, I am going to drive around to go like out of my comfort zone and so on. And I would go to my car, and on the clock it was 3:33, like 3 p.m. and 33 minutes. And I was like, okay, 5 minutes ago, I saw 3333 as the number of steps that I made. And right now I am going to drive and I see 333. I have like photos of this in my phone. And then during the night, we have oven. I think it's called oven, like where you can make your chickens, pizzas, and so on. And we have oven which is off for many years. Like it has a time, it has a clock, but the clock is not showing the correct time. But that's not the point. But during the night, I went downstairs and I casually took a look on the oven, and it was 333. And I was like, okay, like 3 times in a day, like so. It felt really, really interesting. Okay, one more little example is that for this day, I am not really completely sure whether it's real, whether it's a coincidence, whether it's coming from good place or whether it's coming from bad place or something like that. But yeah, we were taking care, like me and my family, of my grandfather who cannot walk for maybe 3 or 4 years. And one day we were taking him somewhere. That's not the point. But I was driving and I was like helping him, helping my family, and so on. And I saw on a car 11111. We have like numbers from 0 to 1000, but there are cars that can have special letters or special numbers or something. So it was like 11111 5 times. And I saw this many times and I was like, okay, I see this 11111, and so what? Like it is good sign, it is bad sign, it is coincidence. I was like thinking like, I see this and so what? Like, so what, universe? What you want to tell me? Like, I don't get it, and so on. And the second car was like some random number, but the third car had a letter, like a word, and it was angel. So I saw 11111. I was thinking like, so what? And not the second, but the third car had a word instead of the numbers, and it had like the word angel. And I was like, okay, this seemed to be beyond the coincidence, and yeah. So basically, these are just my experiences, my opinions, and so on. So I would say that this is something which is real. I would say that we shouldn't put too much energy, too much focus on this, but sometimes, it can be like a good way to ask universe for some kind of help and then follow some kind of signs. Also, I think that if this is like coming from an angels or coming from some kind of negative entities, I'm like, if I am trying to be better person, if I am trying to be better human, if I am trying to help people, if I am trying to work on myself, if I am trying to go out of my comfort zone, face my fears, and so on, I would be like, hopefully it's not coming from some kind of negative entity and it's coming from something positive. And I'm also like, if this is just a coincidence, then I am fine with that. But if this is not a coincidence, if this is something which is real and it would be coming from something negative, some kind of negative entity which is trying to like lie to you and so on, I would be so disappointed with the universe. Like, if you do not want to help me, don't help me. But don't pretend to help me and then lie to me or something like that. So for me right now, it's like I blindly believe that if this is something which is real, that it is something which is coming from a good place, and it is something which I am going to take as a good sign. But for me right now, for example, it's what I take as a good sign versus bad sign when I'm doing something is that right now I have quit like smoking cigarettes, I completely quit alcohol and so on. And many times when I am like coding or doing something, I feel like warm emotions without any reason. And these warm emotions is for me some kind of like real sign that okay, I am doing something, and then I feel like the pleasant emotion. That's something which I trust because it's something that I can feel. These repeating numbers, I do not feel it as an emotion, so I do not trust it completely, but I kind of decided that instead of thinking whether it is like real or not, instead of thinking whether it's coming from an angel or a demon, I am just going to try to be best version of myself. I have so many things that I need to work on myself, and I am going to blindly believe that these angels, this universe or something, it's not going to betray me, and it's going to, guide me and so on. So yeah. So I am going to finish this video in here. This was just my opinion, my experience and so on. As I said, reality can be completely different and I am not claiming anything. So yeah. So this is as it is. You can write me down in the comments your own experiences with these repeating numbers and whether it led you to something positive or whether it led you to something negative. I would be really interested in reading something like this because I still have so much to learn, and yeah. Or you can write me anything in the comments that you want. So yeah. So thank you very much for your time. I hope that this video was helpful at least a little bit to some of you, and yeah. So thank you very much. Have a nice day and goodbye.